Okay guys, so I kind of missed a few things today. My morning was just so hectic and everything like that, and I wanted to get some of the tank work done before I did some other errands. So I kind of jumped ahead. I just didn't record it, okay? Basically, the only thing I didn't record was that once the tank was done sitting, I pulled the tape off the portholes on the bottom, drained out all that vinegar, and then I also, one of the things I had to run to the store for today, I got a big bottle of Arm & Hammer baking soda, and I poured it all in the tank, shook it around, and coated the entire inside of the tank to neutralize that vinegar acid, okay? We don't want it in there. Then after that, I took it inside, rinsed it all out, probably took about 5 rinses to get all that baking soda out of there and to get off all the rust that didn't come out when I dumped all the vinegar out. So yeah, there was actually quite a bit of it. I was surprised. In fact, here, let me show you. I still got the vinegar sitting in the bucket here. Let me show you what it looks like. There you go, guys. That's all the rust and everything settled to the bottom now. You can see where I poured it. There's some goopy stuff there. So yeah, I'll run this through a filter and or a cheesecloth or something and try to strain out as much of that as possible. So yeah, I'll just strain that as much as possible and I can reuse it for de-rusting other things, okay? Vinegar doesn't really go bad, so as long as you have it, you can keep putting it on more and more things to take rust off. But I've been looking in here, I'm getting ready to do the Red-Kote, and my tank here, after I washed it, has been sitting out in the sun. I'm trying to see if I can find any signs of wetness in the tank because the Red-Kote doesn't stick to anything wet. You know, it'll just, they say it will just peel right off. So I got to make sure that this is completely dry before I do the wet coat or the Red-Kote. And it's looking actually pretty good. So what I want to do is I want to set this up now, because once I get it all, I don't want to say shaken because you don't really shake it, but you kind of just rock it back and forth, get the Red-Kote all over every surface. But I got to retape these openings here so the Red-Kote doesn't come out. It's a hot day today. God, it's like 90 degrees. But working here in the garage isn't too bad. And there's a breeze blowing outside. And that's keeping it decent in here. It's probably about maybe 85 in the garage. Okay, so basically I've got this covered the same way I did. That's basically covered the same way I did it when I did the vinegar. So my petcock hole is covered and the gas gauge hole is covered. Just want to make sure it's all seated and sealed. I was having some issues of leakage, but it wasn't that bad. Basically, over the course of about maybe 4 or 5 hours, I would notice maybe about that much vinegar at the bottom of the bin. So I'd come back out, I'd dump out the vinegar, I'd clean the whole area up, retape it, refill it, you know, just pour all the vinegar right back into the tank again. I had to do that maybe 3 or 4 times over the course of a day and a half, 2 days. I'm going to go ahead and cover these little screw holes in this vent hole right away. I don't think I should have anything coming out of that vent hole, but I'm still gonna cover it just in case. There, just like that. Same with this one down here. I think it's just the other side of that. I'm gonna also tape up the end of that as well. So that's all done. That's done. So now all I have to do is, after I pour the Red-Kote in, I just need to put more tape on there, and then I can start doing the rocking process. So let's open up the can. There we go. There we go. So yeah, that's just a safety retainer is all that is. And this stuff is toxic. When I took it out of the package, when I got it in the mail, I could smell it. It's not too bad out here. It is kind of open air because I got the big garage door open. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour this in. I'm probably going to pour about 1/2 to 3/4 of it in, okay? Hell, I might try to even pour all of it in. Why not, right? And then I'm going to have to set it up to drain back into here once everything's done. Okay, and I'll drain it through the petcock hole. So here we go. You do not shake the can or anything of that nature. Ooh, ain't that a pretty red? Now I saw a guy, I'm going to do his little trick. Check this out, guys. I'm going to make myself a pour spout. Put a piece of tape there. I saw a guy do this and I thought it was like, damn, that's awesome. I couldn't believe, I've never thought of doing anything like that. Put another one there. Now what this will do is it'll keep it from going into those ridges, and it also will channel it all into this V. It'll make it easier to pour. This is pretty runny stuff. If you get it on your tank, you can wash it off with some acetone. All right, I'm going to set that up so it drips there. All right. You do have a little bit of working time with this stuff, so you don't have to be super fast with everything. But at the same time, you can't diddle-dally either. Alright, there we go. It's all sealed about as best as I can get it. Now we just sit here, slowly rock it back and forth. Try to cover all surfaces. All right, I think that'll be good. All right, take off my tape here. Like that. Now I'm just going to pour it right back in the container. So you do not want to let this pool. So as I'm draining it, I'm rocking it back and forth. All right. Kind of leave that there just for now. Pull my tape off. And the stuff on the tape is actually starting to dry already. Put my lid on. There we go, that's nice and tight. Now for the rest of this time, I'm just going to rock this back and forth still. I just don't want any big puddles. I was actually kind of surprised too that that my tape here bubbled up from a reaction that was going on inside. And then any dribbles that you get like that there can be cleaned off with acetone or paint thinners, stuff like that. It's actually listed on the bottle as far as what you can wash it out with. Like I said, the biggest areas I wanted to get covered was, you know, these seams here. Those seem to be the biggest areas where rust breaks through on these type of tanks. Alright, I'm going to see what I can take off with just a paper towel here. Now, full cure on this is 96 hours, I think is what it was. Yeah, I can still see it flowing in there, so I didn't get a whole lot of it out yet. So I'm just going to leave those all taped off. I'm just going to keep on rocking it. But the good news is I'm not seeing any coming out from anywhere else. So that's a good thing. So there were no pinholes in here, not that I can tell anyway. Alright guys, so this is where I'm going to end the video here. You've seen me put the Red-Kote in, and hopefully I did it right. Well, like I said, I'm just going to let this sit for, geez, what is 69, what is 96 hours? It's like 4 days. Okay guys, today what I want to do is I want to start getting the tank reassembled. I want to get it back on the bike. But I just realized that on the bottom side of my fill cap, this little hinged area had these little tiny washers on there, and I must have lost one because I only have the one, so I have no idea where the other one's at. So I may end up having to go to the hardware store and see if I can find a replacement for them. But I can still do the petcock and the fuel gauge. Here, let me tilt you down so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so the black plunger part, you want that to actually go up towards the top of the tank. And then like that. And that black washer is right there because I didn't take it off. Get them hand tight. Give them a little snug. Now there's a little cutout in the plastic right there, and the electrical cord will go through that, and then this just clips into place just like that. So that's good to go. Now we need a petcock. And I got my reserve filter back on there. Got my regular filter on. O-ring in place to help seal it. The tubes here will actually go towards the inside of the tank. Now these new bolts they gave me, they do not have a Phillips head to them or anything like that. So it's going to be interesting to see if I can get it on. All right, let's see if I can get these bolts started. And on this one, it's just a tighter fit. Just cannot seem to get it in there. You gotta be kidding me. All right, let's trying to put it on a little 1/16 of a turn at a time. I need to just kind of get this gasket in the right place. Go like that. All right, it actually looks like it's seated in there well. I don't see anything sticking up. So now I'm going to take the 8 and actually get this thing tightened up now. Now again, this is one of those things you don't want to over tighten these, because if you strip out that nut on the inside, you're pretty much screwed. Okay, there we go. Now this is a vent tube that goes on just like that. Okay, so gas gauge is on, petcock is on. The bushings that went in here, I thought I had them. There they are. Okay, so you see the shape of that. I believe it goes in from the inside, and then this will actually go into the flanged area like that. So the outer edge here actually conforms to the top edge of the mounting bracket. And those will go in that way, just like that. And then of course this one is for the bottom one down here, just like that. And yeah, so I can just hold on to the bolts. Now I can get the tank in place. Okay, I did top off the coolant, because when I pulled this off, I spilled coolant all over the place. And the stuff I use is actually a hybrid coolant, so it can work on organic and inorganic lines. Okay, gas gauge is hooked up. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna have to cut this gas hose. The other one looks like it should be okay. I should have it on well enough to where it won't come off. At least I hope. All right, but yeah, this one here, I think I just made it way too freaking long. So I am going to cut it. Trying to find my razor blade. Let's see how Mr. Buck does. All right, so that's where I want to cut, is right there. All right, let's see if we can get this gas line in place. Okay, so what I've done, you probably can't see it because it's dark in here, or under here. Here, actually, let me pull up my phone, use a flashlight. Hopefully you can see that. That's a gas line that I just put onto here. There's another one just over here on the other side, so I got both of those on. Now this little brass fitting here, and this brass fitting back here, I don't know if you can see that one. That one right there. That is what this yellow tubing is supposed to connect. But as you can see, it's like way short. There's no way I can get them to connect. But with this tubing that I just cut, I can get that one on there, and come on now, there. Now that's nice and tight. Now I do want to go get another clamp and have it up here as well, but I'll save that for another day. All right. Wow, that petcock is hard to move. All those new springs and everything in there. So off, on, reserve. We'll have it off right now. All right, my next step, I guess, is to put the bolts onto the tank and get the tank semi-bolted down. I don't want to bolt it down real heavy because I still want to change out the coolant fluid. I topped it off just for the stuff that flowed out, but I want to get everything connected up enough because I want to give this a test start. I haven't really done that yet, and the only thing I need to do is get this tank stationary, get my battery box back in with all the electricals hooked up, and then I want to also change the oil and air filters, okay? But I think for now, to end this video, I'm going to just finish mounting the tank. All right, then I'll put the air box in, or the battery box back in, get all the electricals hooked up. Then I'll also do the oil and air filter changes, and that'll be my next video. Okay, sounds good? Okay, let's finish up this tank. Okay, so that's going to be the end of this video here. I got the tank on. I still need to get those 2 hose clamps, and then I also need to get another washer for the gas fill cap. That little black one I showed you earlier, this little one right here. I'll probably get 2 of them, just replace this one as well. So I'm going to have to make a run to the store sometime during the week and get that, and we'll get the tank buttoned up. Next video, battery box installed, electricals all hooked up, oil and air filter changes. Okay, cool. Thanks guys, thanks for watching. See you on the road.